All right, so I have a two new Dell monitors. These are 27-inch monitors, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair them together to create a dual monitor setup without docking stations. So this is a P2725H. So you get these cables, you get a DisplayPort cable, a USB cable, and power. You can put these on VESA mounts if you want. The VESA mounts that we have, they don't support 227s, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this. So you just piece these together by putting this into this. There's a screw at the bottom that you don't need a screwdriver for. You can just flip this little thing up and twist it, or you can also use a Phillips or flathead. So that's on there pretty solid. I'm gonna place this just like that. I'm gonna slide the monitor out. So here, we actually get ours asset tagged, and we get a spreadsheet from Dell telling us which serial number goes with which asset tag, and that helps a lot. But this is the monitor. Pretty tiny bezel, which is great. A lot of good connections underneath. Power, HDMI, DisplayPort, VGA, couple USB ports there, a USB port, and new this year is that USB-C port, which is great, really helpful. And then just take this and clip it there. You should hear a satisfying click. All right, so that's the first one. I'm gonna go ahead and do this USB cable. I'm gonna plug in this side to the 27 to the P monitor, because this will activate the ports on this monitor through the other one. I like to run the cable through this just for cable organization. Kind of drives me crazy when the cables are all over the place. Then go ahead and take this DisplayPort cable. DisplayPort cable looks kind of like an HDMI cable, but it has a slightly different side on it. And then power cable, which is obviously important for power. All right, you should run these through the same thing. I've already done one part wrong. This power cable you actually have to run through here. Get it right. All right, so that's it. You should have power, DisplayPort, and the USB, the chunky USB side. All right, get all that nice. I'm gonna put that off to the side. And then second box is our P2724DEB. I think the D stands for dock, E stands for Ethernet, and B, I don't know actually, but it has a camera built into it, so I imagine it has to do something with the camera. So first thing to pull out is the base. Maybe that's what the B stands for, base. So it has a bigger base because it's a little bit heavier monitor. I'm gonna take out this holder, and like I said before, this one, it has VESA mounts, so you can unscrew those and mount it to a VESA if you want. This is this monitor. It has a speaker on the top. It has this camera, which we can go ahead and pull this sticker off. It has a camera built into it, and that will, if you turn it, goes, open and close, open and close. All right, this one has a little bit more of a bezel on the bottom, but all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and screw the base on, and the base screws on the same way as the other one, where it has this little screw thing on the bottom. Screw. Make sure that's nice and tight. Then, same deal. We do it with 2 hands. This is a heavy monitor. Click it in, a satisfying click, like before. I am going to move this box out of the way. All right. So, underneath here, you have multiple ports, a couple extras. You have this Ethernet port, which if you're next to a router or something like that, you can plug in. It has the USB-A, the USB-C, this USB, the B, but you're not gonna need that on this one. Another USB-A right there. It has a USB-C, which is we're gonna use as the display port to plug into our laptop. And then it has this orange thing. Now, whenever we're setting it up the way that we're setting it up right now, I take this orange thing out of here and I put it in the other one. The reason the orange thing is there is to show you if you're in a single monitor setup, you don't want to use this one because this is the pass-through. And I'll show you what I mean. So this one came with this USB cable setup, which you don't need if we're doing it the way that I'm doing it. You have this USB-C cable, which is not very long. You can always use a different one, but so I plug that into the USB-C port. There's only one USB-C port on the bottom part, not this one. Run that through my cord management. And then I'm gonna take this one right here. You don't need this one. This power cord right here, you do need the power cord. So the only 2 cords you're using from this box is the USB-C and the power cable. And remember, you gotta run the power side through the cord management. Plug it in. And now you're gonna take the display port cable from the first monitor that we started setting up. You're gonna take that one, route it through your cable management, and plug it in to your newly open display port. So this is the one that had the orange thing in it, but you moved the orange thing to the other one. And this is the new opening. This is gonna take the display from your USB-C, Thunderbolt, whatever computer. That's gonna connect the whole setup, including the display for the left monitor. And then this is gonna go out as a secondary display port monitor to the right monitor. So now let's get it all right. So we have the first monitor I'm gonna use as a left monitor. Oh, I forgot one cable. So the USB cable that you plugged into this first monitor, you plugged in the USB-B side, and we're gonna plug in the USB-A side. For the computer that you plug this USB-C into, it's gonna allow that computer to see these USB ports as like a USB hub. Opposed to a router, I'm gonna plug in my my Ethernet. By this point, this little channel's getting a little thick, but it's fine. I'm gonna plug it in to the Ethernet. So you should be able to see that you have Ethernet, you have the USB-A from this other monitor over here. You have the DisplayPort cable next that's coming from this monitor. And then you have a USB-C cable that's going to your laptop. and then the power cable. So that should be the setup on the P2724, what do we say? P2724DEB. That is what the back of that's gonna look like. All right. Then we're gonna plug these. So now we have both monitors plugged in. There's two buttons. There's this power button right here, and this is the joystick button. I always just put my hand under here and just feel for the dimple and hit it, and that turns it on and off. And then this goes up, down, left, right, like a D-pad. So I'm gonna go ahead and reach back on both of them and turn it on. A thing that says reach under there and push the joystick. So you reach under there and push the joystick. It's gonna ask you the language, just click the joystick again. And then it's gonna say enable USB charging. I'm gonna say yes on that. All right, and then it's gonna say no HDMI cable. I'm gonna click the joystick, say input source, and go to DP. All right, and then on the next one, I'm gonna do the same thing, hit the little dimple in the back. It's gonna power on, and then it's gonna say click it. It's gonna say English, and this one says USB-C charging, always yes. Doesn't like it. All right, and now it's ready. Well, no, gotta change it from HDMI cable to USB-C 90 watt, because we're gonna use the USB-C for this. All right, now it's ready to hook up a computer. This right here, the camera will open, shut, open, shut. This is your speaker bar that will be set up as an audio device on your computer. You can push this Teams button down here for Teams. You can push mute, volume up and down, or to answer a call. So that's it. That's the whole setup. All right, a couple more things to note about these two monitors. They come in a 24-inch version. Same exact thing. I'm not going to do a separate video on it, but it's the same, except that they're 24s. These are DisplayPort monitors, meaning it will plug into a device that uses Thunderbolt, USB-C, anything that's going to push display. But if you plug it into a Mac, you will only get one monitor. It will display that monitor twice. It'll duplicate it. It cannot do dual unless you have a Thunderbolt dock, or you plug in like HDMI on one of these and then DisplayPort on the other. You can't do the daisy chain, which is how we set this up, was with daisy chain, with how we put the DisplayPort in where the orange bucket was and brought it over to the other P monitor. That's daisy chaining. So that will work with a Dell laptop. It'll basically work with any laptop that is Windows and uses DisplayPort. So that's an important note. If you have a Mac, do not try to hook this up the way we just hooked it up. It'll still work, but you need extra things or two cables plugging into the Mac instead of one. That's all.